everyone has their different map, right, of the world based on your experiences, your culture, your influences. We all see things a little differently, regardless. But also, if we're bringing in a diverse group of people, these different perspectives and bringing those into an organization, that's where innovation comes from. Not just an echo chamber of we're all thinking the same thing, talking the same thing, experience the same thing. So being a female in this field can be a little bit lonely sometimes, but I've been really blessed to have wonderful people around me that I've been able to work with.
Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You are made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, I am so excited. Today we have on our show Katie Griffith, who is the principal CEO of Bright Solutions, and she is transforming the tech landscape for upscale senior living communities. She's dedicated to drafting technology plans that resonate with the next generation. She also is creating these strategic investments that yield tangible results. The Bright Solutions name was inspired by Katie's grandparents, and it reflects a commitment to hard work and client satisfaction. She inherited these family values and this passion from a very early age. Katie excels in facing physical, mental, and professional challenges, whether summiting half dome and running events, ultra marathons, or achieving implementations with impossible deadlines. Katie pursues her limits. Y'all, please put your hands together for Katie
Thank you, Renee. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm so excited.
I am so excited to have you with us too, Katie. When our paths crossed, oh my goodness, how many years ago was that? I was with another contract food service company, and our focus was on hospitals and senior living communities. Gosh, was that back in maybe 2007?
I mean, it was coming on 20 years ago or something. So I'm so glad our paths crossed again. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, same here, you guys. And that's why I think it's so important to never let an opportunity go by to give a friendly smile, or just to say hello, or just to get to know somebody. You never know what impact you're going to have on their life, either that day or years on down the road. So, I mean, I just think that's so important, so important. So, as all these years have gone by, I continued with that company for a while, left them in 2017, actually. And since then, I think that was about the time when you were starting Bright Solutions, right?
I started Bright Solutions 9 years ago. So what was that?
My math is bad.
2014. 2014. Wait. Yeah. Whatever. 2015.
Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, it's been an awesome journey, and I guess in between there, I moved to California and then came back to Atlanta. So I don't know if you want me to just kind of give you a little bit of my background, where I'm from, and
Yeah, absolutely. We want the audience to know who you are, who we have on this platform today.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, it was a rainy night in December 1978. I'm kidding. I won't go into that much detail.
I love it.
But I was born and raised in a suburb of Atlanta. So go ATL. That's my home. But I'm living in Florida now. So yeah, born and raised in Atlanta. Wonderful, wonderful place to grow up, and went to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs!
Well done.
Um, and then after graduating, started my career. I graduated with a degree in management information systems, and then started my career in Atlanta. And that was when I first started kind of interacting with Morrison, because I was working for a point of sale company. And Morrison started using that system. So yeah, I think that's probably about when we met. And then I got married in 2005. And when we got married, we moved to Southern California right when we got married to Huntington Beach. So that was a lot of fun. We were supposed to be there for 2 or 3 years. We blinked and it had been 6 years. And we're like, okay, we gotta, are we staying here forever or what? So we came back to Atlanta, had a child, and continued my career in technology, working for software companies, implementations, customer account management, and then sales. So I spent about a decade in software sales. So yeah, we were living in Atlanta, and we had a child, and he's now 11. His name's Cash. And so we had our child in 2012, and we both just loved our careers, but we were kind of feeling like we were burning the candle at both ends, because both of our careers are very high stress. So but like in a good way, we were enjoying what we were doing. But with a 1-year-old, it was like, okay, something's got to give, because we're just like going, and relying on our parents all the time to like pick up any kind of slack with our child. And we're so privileged and blessed to have been able to say, hey, let's have one of us kind of step back, dial it back a little bit, like not be so crazy with the work.
We only need one crazy. It's good enough.
Yeah, let's have one crazy and one just sort of crazy, but like can kind of pick up the slack around the house,
Right,
with
right.
a child that's running around, right?
Oh man, good luck with that.
That was actually how Bright Solutions started. Is I was the one that said, I'll dial it back, I'll step back from my my position. And it was really a hard decision for me, because I love my career. I mean, and I think it's a struggle that a lot of women and men, encounter when they've really got their career going and they've worked so hard and they're just enjoying the fruits of their labor, right? And then you have this struggle with family, and career, and us women, we can do it all. We can have it all. Don't you just love it when people say that? And that just means you're expected to do absolutely everything all at once, So it is a struggle. But yeah, it was great, because I was able to dial things back. And that was when I started Bright Solutions. I do have that entrepreneurial spirit. And I just saw a need for the clients I was working with. When I was working for a software company doing sales, I just saw a need for to have like an unbiased third party just help them navigate the different software solutions that were available to them, because they were relying a little bit too much on me as a salesperson to kind of tell them what they needed. And so I'm like, I'm kind of biased because I'm trying to sell you something. So
right.
I saw an opportunity, and like I said, we were so privileged and blessed to enable me to quit my day job and start up Bright Solutions. And since then, we've actually switched roles. So, it was me that had dialed it back, right? And I'm like growing Bright Solutions. Well, it turns out there was a huge need and is a huge need for what we're doing. And my husband was just chugging along with his high stress position. And we made the decision a year ago that we're just gonna I'm taking the lead with the career side of things and letting Bright Solutions grow and do its thing. And my husband is now take on the lion's share of the home life kind of stuff. So he's dialed it back now. So yeah, it's exciting. It's we're really, really grateful. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that you're almost able to retire your husband with the success that you've created in Bright Solutions. And
he's semi-retired. You could almost say that. He actually just pulled into the driveway from surfing. So yeah.
Oh, nice. See, wasn't like every surfer's dream is to be able just to kind of go out whenever they feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he so deserves it. He so deserves it. I mean, for him to enable me to be able to just run Bright Solutions and help my clients and grow because there is such a big need. And for him to be there to kind of, take care of our son who is 11, and how great for the primary, I'll call it the primary parent, to be him as he's entering the adolescent years, to have his dad there. What a blessing for him. And it's just, I'm so appreciative that he can allow me to just be heads down focused on helping my clients and growing Bright Solutions. So
right, because it's definitely a partnership. I mean, raising a child, number one, is tough. And it's when there are two parents to be able to share the load. Number one, that's fantastic.
Yes.
And then to have the same have a son with his dad learning these critical things at such a crucial age. What a blessing. So fantastic that he has that, and that you've been able to build a business that allows him to be able to do that, of course, thanks to him and his support. But there were a few things that you mentioned as you were sharing your journey with us that kind of stuck in my head. And one of those things was the fact that you made a decision from an early age to earn a degree in a pretty male-dominated field. So IT is the majority men. And so what was that like being, I don't know, were there lots of girls in school when you were in school? And were there any challenges that you had to navigate through that experience?
Oh, at the University of Georgia, not as much. I mean, it was definitely probably 80-20 male, female. I'm just guessing that was the ratio in my field. But you know what? It was pretty cool because a lot of the people in my program and MIS were, they were kind of these computer geeks. Like they'd grown up kind of just so interested in computers. And I actually was like, I don't know much about computers, and I know I'm going to need to know them because this was way back in 1997.
Way back in 1997.
And I'm like, I better figure out these, what these computers are all about. And so I said, you know what, my parents are paying for this education. Let's see if UGA can actually teach me everything I need to know about computers. So I just dove in pretty clueless, and the people around me kind of had an advantage because they'd just been messing around, tinkering, most of their lives. So, But it was cool. UGA did teach me what I needed to know, and I really enjoyed it. I love it. I love what I do, and I'm just so glad that I've been able to pursue, that trajectory. But yes, but then in the business world, absolutely, it's a lot of the same voices, I would say. That so when I'm working with clients and when I'm working with other businesses in our industry, I would say we could use a lot of diversity. And I feel like that's part of what we're able to do for our clients, even though we don't even talk about that, but maybe I should more. I feel like we can bring the diversity in because we definitely have a diverse group of consultants of all shapes and sizes, genders, colors, and so I like that about us because I feel like, 90% of my Zoom calls, I'm just looking at 10 other males that are my race.
They look like you.
I'm like, are we gonna be able to have an original thought in this meeting? So it's definitely interesting coming in as a female entrepreneur. But I mean, the industry I work in, though, I mean, the people I work with, they're so welcoming and amazing. But I do think that it's just like this, like the possibilities are endless for innovation because we can bring different perspectives in. I mean, everyone has their different map, right, of the world based on your experiences, your culture, your influences. We all see things a little differently. And regardless, but also if we're bringing in a diverse group of people, these different perspectives and bringing those into an organization, that's where innovation comes from. I mean, not just an echo chamber of we're all thinking the same thing, talking the same thing, experience the same thing. So yeah, it's, being a female in this field, is it can be a little bit lonely sometimes, but I've been really blessed to have wonderful people around me that I've been able to work with. So
that's so
it
awesome.
is kind of fun. It is kind of fun when you walk into a room of a whole bunch of males that don't know you and maybe are really speculative when you walk in, like, what's she gonna have to offer? I've definitely had those situations where you walk in and they're just all like looking at me like, okay, what's this about? And then as soon as I start speaking, they very quickly are like, oh, okay, what you doing? I mean, there's definitely a satisfaction in that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
I don't have to experience that, do they? So it's pretty cool.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I love that you're, even thinking about the benefits of a company hiring your company because of the diversity that you bring. Not only being a woman in this male-dominated field, but also having a team that is so diverse, that brings all of these different perspectives, that does contribute to that, the thought processes or the things that need to go into creating systems and strategies that don't look like everybody else's, because the people in your group that you're surrounding yourself with don't look like you. So yeah, that absolutely could be a unique selling proposition. Which I learned another word on this journey as I'm actually building my business as well. And, one of things me and my coach talk about too. So anyways, I totally get it. And then as you were talking as well, you were talking about having this entrepreneurial spirit. And as business owners, we all have it, but it came from a different place. Sometimes it may have come from a place of struggle and a determination to not have that be your story. Or maybe it came from because it's what you always saw growing up, that your dad was your parents were entrepreneurs, your grandparents were entrepreneurs. What drives you as an entrepreneur? How do you get that? Where did it come from?
Yeah, sure. So, as I think you mentioned, Bright Solutions, Bright is a family name. So, my grandparents, Thomas and Imogene Bright from Chattanooga, Tennessee, they were entrepreneurs, and they had a Bright's Home Fashions, which is before the Home Depots and Lowe's of the world. Were on every street corner. They had this storefront in Chattanooga, and they did floor coverings mostly. And then in the storefront, they had kind of the interior decorating stuff everywhere for people to buy for their homes. And so that was, my grandfather really bootstrapped his way out of poverty. He grew up in Rockwood, Tennessee, very poor. And as soon as he could, he's like, I know a cousin that I've never met that's in Chattanooga. I'm going there and I'm going to get a job and I'm just going to figure it out. So he left home. He went out on his own with, nothing, and built, built this business and raised a family and, got himself out of poverty. So, I grew up, close to him and to my grandma, and, they were such an inspiration, just knowing that story. I grew up very privileged. But what drives me, I think you're just maybe born with that spirit of, wanting to create something. And I'm not an artist in any way, shape, or form. Don't ask me to draw anything or paint. But I think my creativity comes with designing businesses. So I just have these ideas, and they're always, developing. And I'm just, that's what drives me, is that I'm like, I see a need and I have a really cool way to address it in my mind. And then I just, put it down on paper and develop it. And that's what I love about my business, is that I'm able to continue to do that, because we can see, within our consulting business, what else our clients need. And I can say, hey, let's build a solution for that. And so it can always be evolving.
Right. And that is so good. I mean, because how many times do we hear people say, oh, this isn't working right, or that's not working, or we need help with this. I mean, why can't we do this, that, or the other? And they're whiners.
Uh-huh.
They just whine. Like, look, if you have a problem, that is clearly an opportunity, okay, for something by somebody. And how come it can't be you? So
that's right.
I love
right.
that.
I think, my philosophy is, there's things I can control and there's things I can't control. So, as far as like complaining about the things I can't control, that's not really something that I spend time doing. Doesn't seem like a good use of time to me. So I just say, hey, I don't like what's going on here, but I can accept it, and I can look at what I'm able to control and go from there. So.
Right. And I think that's just wisdom for all business owners. Like, what can you actually control? What is within your power to either do something about, or make a change, be creative, be innovative, strategize, put some things on paper to see how to solve this problem. So whining doesn't help anything. Whining doesn't solve anything. Complaining doesn't solve anything.
Or worrying and losing sleep and being stressed out, because that's really easy. And it's a daily practice for me, to not, as entrepreneurs, and as Renee, as an entrepreneur, there's some high highs and some low lows. And there's always like, could I be doing things better? What's the next thing? And your mind can just really run away with you. And then I mean, sleep is so important to me, because if you don't have a good night's sleep, everything's going to be way harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's similar to you when we first started talking about working together. We were talking about how, as business owners and entrepreneurs, we just felt like we had to do everything ourselves. Like, even though we had a team, when you have a team, you still have to supervise the team. You have to make sure that they're getting the work and that they're doing the work right and that they're, representing your company well. And there's all these things you have to constantly be on top of and in consideration. Then you got to do the billing and then the hiring and then the training and all the things. There's so much. And sleep could definitely be deprived. And you just feel like everything, the weight of everything is on your own shoulders. So I love that. When we started working together, the look on your face when you didn't have to put in the information to do the timesheets, to do payroll, it was the most rewarding look that I have ever seen on anybody, and made me feel so good because I was able to allow you to get a couple more hours of sleep because we
Oh my
took
goodness.
that off of your plate.
You were rescuing me. It was like you were on a rescue mission and I'm like on the life raft in the ocean, like I can't do all this. And you continue, you and your team continue to just help me let go of the things that I need to let go of,
Yes,
yeah,
I absolutely love it.
it is such a I'm so grateful, and it's such a huge help. And you really, you help me to see the things that I can let go of, so that I can focus on the business. So
Right. And it's been so great. And in case anybody is wondering, it's Executive Help Now is the name of our company. And Katie and I reconnected after many years, like we were talking about before, and just started a conversation. And my question was, how can we help you? What is on your plate? What can we take off your plate to lighten your load so that you can focus on the things that matter most to your business that you haven't been able to do because you're in the weeds of everyday nitty gritty things. And
yeah.
it was one of the greatest conversations.
And you, I mean, and I probably told you like one or two things, but then I was like, help me see the other things that I can get rid of, and or that I can delegate, and having the trust that I have in you too. It's so huge. I mean, it's one thing to go on and just like try to find a random person to help you, but who is this person on some ad or, whatever it is. So I was so grateful because I knew who you were, and I trust you. And then you have all these resources that of course I inherently trust because you're bringing them to me. Right. But now I'm like singing your praises to other entrepreneurs that I talk to, because they'll call me and they're like, Katie, I'm trying to figure out this, do you have a good graphic designer? Or I'm trying to figure out a drip campaign for, marketing. And I'm like, why are you trying to figure that out? Is that your business? Are you a marketer that does drip campaigns? No. So you need to delegate someone who's good at that to do that, unless you want to become an expert, so we've just got to, I have to remember what my unique gifts are that I'm bringing to clients. And that is what I have to focus on. Any of the other stuff, even though and it feels good to have that to-do list and to kind of go, oh, that was easy. I did that. I did that LinkedIn post. I did this. It feels good to us to get those things checked off, but it doesn't mean that's how you should be spending your time. And you definitely should not be spending your time doing that unless your business is to do LinkedIn posts.
Right. So. Exactly. I love how you put that. If that's your business, go ahead, do that all day.
Right.
But if it's not, delegate that.
That's right. Are you a website developer? Great. Go do that. But If you're not, then why are you developing a website?
Right, exactly. Delegate. I mean, and give it to someone who loves doing it and can probably do it quicker, be better at it, and you'd be
That's
just as
right.
happy. Yeah. So I
Right. And
totally
you can
get
be going
that.
to get more business. You could be spending that time
Absolutely.
going to get more business or fine tuning or creating your next thing, your next deliverable. So yes,
Yeah.
it's been such a you've been so helpful in helping me continue to do that. And I still don't do it as much as I should. So I'm always meeting with your team like, okay, what do you want to try to take from me now? And and they're like, Katie, and they'll try to convince me to hand something else over. And I'm like, no. And then eventually, 3 months later, I do it. And I'm like, why was I hanging on to that?
Right. Right. Well,
Control
and it
thing.
takes time. It takes time. And that's one of the best ways to get started. First of all, just start with
Yeah.
something, one little thing. And
Yes.
then slowly, as you get comfortable, let go of a few more things and even maybe a portion of another thing. Maybe you got a big thing coming up and you say, okay, you do this little part and I'll hang on to these other things until I
Yeah.
can see that you can do that little part good or do it well. And then I'll add on another little part. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's been an
But
amazing
start now.
experience.
Like there's
Yes,
no, I mean, everything I've done, I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? So
yes,
do yourself a
exactly.
favor. Start
Yeah,
call Renee now.
yes. Start now. Call us. Our information is in the ticker, but down below.
Yeah, that's right.
So I digress a little bit, but still, definitely, it does lead into the fact that mindfulness is something that you take a lot of pride in. It's
Yes.
something that is so crucial and critical to your success. And
Mhm.
when you're bogged down in all of the minutia of the things of daily life, it's hard to be mindful and to take care of yourself as an entrepreneur, as a, business owner, because, you got all the stuff that you're dealing with, right? So how do your daily mindfulness practices like prayer and meditation benefit your professional life?
Oh, in so many ways. So so first of all, something's bugging me that I was saying that we went back to Atlanta and then I talked about my husband just came in from surfing. So we're in Florida now because there's no surfing.
Oh, you got big
So yeah,
waves, but not like
I just
kahunas.
want to close the loop there that we moved from Atlanta to Florida because we missed the beach, but didn't want to go all the way back to California. So being closer to nature, I'm 2 miles from the beach. I can ride my bike there or drive. We have a wilderness right across the street from our neighborhood that goes for 25 miles south of here. So I always say, like, it's like we're living on the edge of the earth here. It's like the ocean one way, like wilderness the other way. I never go north where all the people are. No. No,
Wow.
but being close to nature really helps with the mindfulness practice. But yeah, it is the lifeblood. I mean, it is the way that I stay peaceful, joyful, loving, no matter what's happening. Being an entrepreneur is crazy. It can be crazy. You're just, like you said, just thinking of all the things, like all the things you got to do. And then also just the general direction. So when I started this business 9 years ago, I had no idea that it would be where it is today. I had no idea that it would become the family business and, the only thing for our family is this business now. But I have a higher power that has a plan, right? So that is my meditation and prayer practice is just staying in touch with my God. You all might have a different higher power or God that you speak to, but I guess really, we can all have maybe different spiritual practices and so forth. And I think the number one thing is to know that you're not the highest power, that there is there is a God, because man, that brings me a lot of peace, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, I don't have to figure it all out. So every morning I spend a good amount of time in prayer and meditation. And so I might like read a little bit, whether it's from the Bible or from many other, kind of spiritual readings that I can just kind of get connected. And then I do some prayer and some meditation. I've got, there's all kinds of meditation apps you can do. And it really just helps to center me for the day, to stay present in this moment, and to just listen for what's next. So again, there's so many possibilities and so many directions that my business could go in. My son is going to be entering adolescence. So there's just, I think the theme for having a teenager is worry, right? So
they kind of go together.
I can worry about just a number, thousands of things that he could potentially, end up in these different situations or doing different things. I can worry about, the business, of course, and what direction should we be taking it. So mindfulness allows me to just be in the now and to make decisions about what I'm going to do right now today. So it doesn't mean I don't make plans for the future, but you make plans based on, kind of what you feel is the right thing today. You make plans. And then you don't obsessively think about those plans over and over and over again. Right. So it really just it just helps me to just know that, like, I'm going to know what to do next. I'm going to know. So if tomorrow my son comes up to me with some problem, I'm just going to prayerfully know what to do in that situation. And spending time worrying about what might happen in the future is it's just something that our brain likes to do.
Right. Yes.
And so prayer and meditation helps me to kind of quiet those things and just focus on reality of what's actually happening and what decisions I need to make today. And it is a daily practice. It's like you've got to just practice doing that every day, because your mind will definitely want to tell you all these horrible things that might happen in the future, or all these like really awesome things that you think you want to happen in the future. And that's cool. But let's try to focus on today and what we're going to do today. And honestly, just kind of going through life that way has gotten me to where I am. And again, my business has grown. It is nothing that I could have imagined. And I don't know what's going to happen with it, in a year or 2 years or 3 years, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, I'm just focused on, talking to you today and taking care of my clients that we're working with right now. And it's just, that's where I get so much joy and peace.
Wow, that is so good. And what great reminders. And I can completely relate. I think most of our audience knows that I'm a Christian, God-fearing, Bible-thumping, God girl.
Yeah.
So love what you're saying, because it's so true. I love how you say, make a plan. And it's great to make a plan, but live today. And it's because of that plan, you kind of know what direction you need to go to kind of stay on that plan. And just when you pray about it and you are relying on the wisdom and the connections and that all come from a higher power, you don't have to worry about anything. You just don't have to worry. And those thoughts do come in. They're like, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're an imposter. Oh, you don't deserve this. Blah, 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 blah. They're all lies of the enemy from the pits of hell.
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, and it helps me to name that person. I'm like, I was talking to someone and they named it Tiffany, and they're like, "Shut up, Tiffany." It's like their little evil twin that's like, "You're not good enough," or "What if this happens?" And really just focusing on outcomes. So my faith just allows me to not be so clinging to outcomes. So I honestly, I pray for God's will every day. I don't pray for specific things, because I know that he has a plan, and that he's going to be with me no matter what happens. And so clinging to those outcomes really brings you out of the present and the joy and the peace that you can experience just living today. So
Right. And I had one coach say to me, make the plan, pray about it, know that God's in control of everything. So just know that those plans could go like this.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and
That's
just
like,
go with it.
right?
There's a reason that it's going like that. And so, but with each of those experiences that may even look like negative experiences, there's something within that prepares us for the next thing that's maybe on another level or bigger, or something that we didn't know was coming, but God did. And so he prepared you by enabling you to go through these particular circumstances or situations so that you could have something, a frame of reference to learn from on your next level.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. The way I like to look at it, and I was just thinking about that this morning, life's going to happen. Okay. It's nature's taking its course. So bad stuff's going to happen. Like
life be life. That's what my kids say. Life be life.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the way I like to look at it is, when you're in pain, God is going to use that pain for an opportunity for growth. So don't waste it. Like, don't waste your pain. So yes, it's painful and you don't want to go through it, but since you're having to go through it anyway, use it to get you to grow spiritually. Those are always opportunities. Pain is always an opportunity to grow spiritually, and that's
and professionally. Pain has a purpose, and as entrepreneurs, like I love how you said, don't waste the pain. Whatever negative experience you're going through, work through it. Don't try to get out of it. Don't try to
go through it.
Don't try to jump over the whatever. Don't
stick your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening.
Yeah. Don't stick your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. Deal with it.
That's
head
right.
on. Face it. Be brave. Put on your big girl pants and seek wisdom. If you need some wise counsel, seek wise counsel and deal with it.
Yeah, and get women around you, or men and women, whoever, to support you and to lean on when you're just not wanting to deal with it. But there'll be those moments, right? And that's okay. Like, just take care of yourself. Give yourself a break when you're going through something so difficult. Self-care and just moving through it. You don't always have to be like all put together either. You can go like ugly cry, and you can go
Absolutely.
You can go like hide in your bed for a day, but just don't do that for like 5 days, then
don't stay
there. Dust yourself off.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I absolutely love that. One of our friends that I met at PodFest over the last week wrote a book. His name is Chris Commitsos, and he wrote a book called Start Ugly. So even if you don't have all the answers immediately, just start. Like we were talking about earlier, just start. And it's so important to take care of yourself along the way. Like we were just talking about now. And one of the things that has helped me, in addition to prayer and wise counsel and that sort of thing, is to drink a cold glass of water. When you're dealing with something that's so stressful and it really has your heart rate going, drink a cold glass of ice water and it will help settle you back down
Oh,
and,
nice.
and be able to think clearer, to be able to ask the right question, to be able to understand and comprehend the options.
That's
Cold
great.
glass of ice
My
water.
go-to is belly breathing. So if I'm in the middle of just crisis mode or something, I just stop and I just take big, long, deep breaths. Take
Wait,
like
hold
3.
on. What's a belly breathing? What is it?
Yeah, so yes, belly breathing. So it's just taking.
I'm gonna try it. How do I
let's do
it?
it now.
Yeah. How do we? Oh, breathe in through my nose.
Just breathe in super deep, and so that it feels like it's expanding your belly. You breathed in so deeply, and then just breathe out. And if you don't realize that when you're stressed, you don't breathe as deeply or as much, and you get all tensed up. So if you just take those big deep breaths, your nervous system just relaxes and you feel better already.
I do feel better already. I've done it 3 times.
Yeah, and then you have like more clarity instead of just being stuck in the moment. But
yeah, I love that. Okay, we get to practice
we're
live
like
demonstrations here.
aren't we? We're like, okay, let's do some yoga.
Hey, stretching is always great. Can't get enough of stretching. Oh my goodness, because my neck like right here. I really need to do something. Oh, that is so funny. So, I cannot believe we've been on and we're almost out of time. Katie, tell us, how can we reach you? How can we stay in touch with you? Where can we find you and what do you have going on? Yeah, answer all 10 of those questions right now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, the best place to find me is probably on LinkedIn. I think you have my email address too, which is katie@brightsolutions.co. But yep, there's my LinkedIn. You can find me on there. We have a website, brightsolutions.co. I am going to be at a couple of conferences coming up. So in April, I'll be at the Senior Dining Association's annual conference in Orlando. I think April 8th is when I'll be doing a educational session there on continuing your tech platform success despite turnover. And then in May, I'll be doing a workshop, helping with a workshop at Leading Age PA annual conference. Yep, May 7th through the 9th. So I am a board member of Leading Age PA. So I'll be helping with a workshop there.
And that's in the Poconos in Pennsylvania, May 7th through the 9th. And you'll be speaking on that platform as well.
That's right. Yep. So those are the most, and then I've got a webinar I'm going to be doing about AI pretty soon, but I haven't set the date yet. So,
well,
so follow me on LinkedIn and we'll be promoting it like crazy.
Yeah. All right. So we will follow you on LinkedIn. Definitely, you see the connect button underneath Katie's picture. Connect with Katie on LinkedIn and definitely stay in the know. We know AI is here to stay, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, that's right.
We definitely want all the help, tips, and tricks we can get for using it in our daily lives as well as in our businesses. So definitely stay tuned and follow Katie on LinkedIn for sure. Awesome. So thank you for sharing with us, Katie, all of your nuggets, all your gems of wisdom, golden nuggets that will help us as entrepreneurs on our journey. It's not an easy road, but with women like you in the fold, helping us along the way, it makes it just a little bit easier. So thank you so much, Katie. You were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
You too, Renee. Thank you.